Hey guys, what's going on down here? What we got here is the rider course. The first exercise that we're doing is just a bunch of left-handers going around and around in a circle. What we're doing here is we are warming up our tires, and that's all it is. A series of left hands to warm up the tires. It's fairly simple exercise. Warming up our tires, that's all we're doing. And then our next exercise is same lefts, but we added some weaving in and out of cones. As you can see up here, the rider in front of me, this is this second to the last cone and the last cone because he didn't get his body position correct, and he just totally, I don't know, maybe got scared of his own lean angle and just freaked out and didn't take the last two cones right. And then here we're just like switching back and forth, not really weaving in and out of cones like at a strong angle, just like a slight angle, kind of like counter steer, whipping back and forth on that. And the rider actually did it twice in a row on that. You missed the cones. And then here we're doing a braking exercise. And what we're doing here, we're going to come up and get our speed up 20 to 25 miles an hour and brake. And all the instructor is looking for is keep from wheel lockup. She doesn't want to see any wheel lockup or you to look like you're just gonna blow past her where she's standing and not actually brake at all. And she doesn't want to see you skid marks, whatever, doesn't matter. She just wants to see controlled smooth braking from 20 to 25 miles an hour. And that's all you're doing, from 20 to 25 miles an hour. It's a fairly simple exercise. She just wants to see how well you can do a controlled stop from 20 to 25 miles an hour. And as you can see there, she gave me a thumbs up. I did pretty decent. It's been 3 years since I took this course, so you don't really think about how controlled your braking needs to be until you're forced to actually do controlled stops. Riding on the street, you're just riding and it just happens. But when you're put to the test and you're like, oh, I gotta really think about controlled braking. And here, I really got into the brakes and actually brought the front end up, and I was like, whoops, I didn't mean to, but I gotta stop pretty quick at that time. And then we do a couple on her side, and then we did a couple on the guy's side, just back and forth with braking. And then we increased the speed to 25 to 30 and done the same thing with control brake stopping. And this is not a bad exercise to actually practice on your own when you're out somewhere in a parking lot. Just give yourself like a braking marker, see what kind of control braking you can do and how well you can learn how to stop correctly and keep the front end from locking up or the back tire from locking up. And then this exercise that we're doing here is we're just gonna go around the circle to the right hand circle. The first one we're gonna do is a smaller circle, to the right, and then the other one you're going to do a larger circle but to the left. And here all we're doing is body position, correct body position. You're leaning forward and leaning over the bike and in, and keeping your inside elbow at a bent angle instead of keeping it straight. And it's teaching you proper lean angle, where this gentleman up here in front of me, this rider, I know my angle of my camera is a little off, but he kept both arms straight. It's like he wasn't using his correct body position. And what that does is it causes your bike to lean more, and sometimes you don't want it to lean more, you want it to lean less. So if you're quote unquote hanging off the bike, you know what we call in terms hanging off, where you're leaning over with the elbow bent and forward a little bit, or over the tank, off to the side, not over directly over the tank, off to the side, depending on if it's a left or right hand, and it will help you get a lower center of gravity, but it also keeps your bike a little more upright, so it's on the fatter part of the tire or more center of the tire, whereas the rider in front of me, his arms are like deadlocked straight, and he has to actually lean his bike more. And here's where she's, trying to show him to keep his elbows bent and lean down and over, like that, like what she's showing him here. That's how she's wanting him to lean into the corners. That way the bike stays more upright, and he's using a fatter part of the tire, and his lean angle is quite a bit less. And as you can see again, he doesn't take what she gives him to practice, and he still keeps his arms like deadlocked straight. But sometimes their own fear of falling over keeps him from doing that, whereas in all honesty, with him keeping his arms straight, he's actually leaning farther over it than I am, but it doesn't seem like it because he's more upright on the bike. But in all honesty, you are actually leaning over more with your arms locked than you are doing the correct body position for cornering. And here we're going to take those same laps in circles, and we're going to do a swerve in mid-corner to the inside around some cones that you can see right here, and then a swerve to the outside, and still do controlled lean angles where you go in and then back out, and then you have to dive it back in and really throw the bike into a steeper lean angle than before to keep that. And then here you come outside and then slowly drift back in. So the lean angle is not as great, nor does it affect the body position as much. But when you dive in, then come back out, and then you have to fall back in, it creates a stronger lean angle, and you can keep your speed up a little bit more if you use the correct body position. Whereas he's just like, it's like he's almost scared of the bike that it's going to fall over while he's actually in the process of doing these turns. And it's like, when I was watching him, I thought he was going to lose the front because the way his arms are so locked, and he's having to really lean the bike over when he's doing that mid-corner swerving. And here, all you're doing is controlled braking in a turn. And the best way to do that at slow speeds like this, even faster speeds, to scrub off, keep the throttle at controlled speeds, and just ease into your back brake just a little, and maybe pull in some front while holding throttle so it doesn't make the front end dive. It actually kind of pulls down the bike, but it doesn't make the bike dive. When you're in a corner and you just chop throttle, it loads the front, and loading the front could cause your front end to push out from underneath you in a corner. So if you do controlled braking, just ease on the brake while holding the throttle at that speed, you'll actually slow down, and it's more of a controlled type braking. And then we do this exercise a few more times, and then we move on to the next exercise. But actually, overall, this was not a bad few exercises. I mean, you kind of learn a lot that you almost forget in your just daily commuting. And then this exercise here, we are swerving at the last minute, coming up onto like an object in a road or something. And these cones represent like the lane that you're in. And then at the last minute, you see something in the road, and you go, oh, and you have to swerve outside around it. And they want you to be able to practice and show that you can use counter steering methods on swerving. And that's all that is just quick counter steer. Bam, house. You know, you're dodging something in the road when you're going down the road, highway, freeway or something. You just do a quick counter steer swerve. And that's all that is. You're going up the speeds, roughly 15 to 20, and swerve. And then back into it again in the same lane that you started and began with. And here, we actually had to stop and fix. She wanted to fix the cones because people were hitting them in the swerves and knocking them out of the way. So we had all stopped and reset the cones up. Now here we're going the opposite way, and so we're going to be swerving to the right now instead of to the left. We want to get out and around, swerve out, swerve back in our lane, in the position that we were before the swerve. And this rider up here in front of me, I know you're not supposed to pay too much of attention to what's going on in front of you, like fixate on what's going on in front of you. You want to see down the road, but you can tell he's like really stiff at it, and he's not doing counter steering. He's like whole body is going with the bike instead of counter steering. You want to counter steer so you can just flop the bike over and flop it back. And here you can see he already hit the cones and knocked them out of the way, and just totally threw the line off that you're supposed to follow. But you know, if you take the course enough times, you can pretty much find out where you're going, you know, when to do the swerve and counter steer and do it correctly. But that's the whole purpose, to get you back into the practice of doing stuff you don't normally do on an everyday basis. And then they stop us and fix the cones again because they were getting ran over, so they wanted us to wait and fix them. And then the rider here in front of me, he's still having some issues with his swerving. And I caught it here on video where he went to swerve and he thought he was going to fall over right there. And because of the whole counter steering, he wasn't doing it correctly, and he was just trying to throw his bike into a whatever kind of angle lean. I don't know. He's just really not getting the hang of counter steer. And he does it here again. And I'm like, well, I don't know, man. I thought for sure he was going to dump it over the second time around. But he managed to keep it upright, and I was pretty proud of him for doing that. I mean, he seemed to be struggling. It's like he was actually really, really scared to get into that lean angle. And on this exercise, it is, what you're doing here is like, it's shaped like a peanut. Basically, all it is, one end of the turn is narrower than the other side, and you just kind of weave back and forth. And you go into a turn, and what this is teaching you is outside to inside to outside, which in a corner on a motorcycle, that is the straightest line in a turn. Outside to inside to outside, and you want to do it with a good body position so you're still on the fat part of the tire. Outside to inside to outside. That's all you're doing. And the gentleman on the Harley, they put us together, they paired us together because he was, along with me, he was able to get the hang of it really quick. And we were the more experienced riders out there on the course. And they put us together, that way we could just get it done and move on to the next exercise. That's all it is, outside to inside to outside, which is the straightest line in a corner. And I caught up to him after a few laps, and then we turn around and go back the other direction. Same principle, outside to inside to outside. That's all they want to see if you're doing your outside to inside correctly. It's the straightest line through a turn, and if you have the right body position and lean angle, you'll be on the fattest part of the tire and you won't have much of a lean angle. Depending on the speed you go, the faster you go, of course, the more lean angle you're going to have, no matter how much outside to inside to outside that you are doing. And then on this exercise, it is a decreasing radius turn. And I know my camera angle is horrible, so it's making it look like I'm looking right at the ground, but I'm actually not looking at the ground. I'm actually looking ahead into the turn. That's the whole purpose of the exercise. The farther you look ahead into the turn, the more you can see what's going on, and the more you can see what the corner is doing as you're going into it. If you're looking right at the ground, you won't know if the corner is tightening up, getting wider. It doesn't matter. You want to know what that corner is doing. The farther ahead you look, the more you can see into the turn, and the more you can prepare for what's coming up. You can start judging throttle, if you need to brake, or anything. Just looking ahead into the turn. This whole exercise is the farther you look ahead into the turn, the more you know what's going on. And this instructor was really liking my motorcycle, talking about how much she really liked the Triumph 675R. To me, it's just, I love the bike myself. I own the bike. It is a really sweet bike. And then this exercise, all we're doing is we're just doing circles with checking traffic patterns. That's all we're doing. And this exercise is to get you back into using your blinkers, checking over your left and right shoulder for traffic. And we take the circle, it just tightens up, and then you look over the right shoulder, use your blinker, merge on into the right lane, and then loop back around, take the outside, and then you're going to look over your left shoulder and merge into the left lane. Make sure there's no traffic. It's teaching you like a real world scenario. That's all it is, just a real world scenario type of riding. You want to make sure you use your blinker and get the feel of, hey, ready to end the day, and we want to see if you can still know how to merge in and out of traffic by looking over your shoulder and make sure you're doing it correctly. And all in all, it was a really good day, and I passed with flying colors along with everyone else. Actually, we all passed the course, and it was a good day. It was hot though, I won't lie. It was super hot that day. that we did this course. And that about wraps it up for me. This is Sticky Side Down. Peace.